This morning, my 5-year-old and I read The Little Island together. And it says it's by Golden MacDonald, but it's not. It's by Margaret Wise Brown, publishing under a pen name. And today would have been her 115th birthday. She was born on May 23rd of 1910. And she is an absolute icon of children's literature. She writes Goodnight Moon and The Runaway Bunny and a whole bunch of other stories. She had like 100 different manuscripts and some version published, another like 70 that were in partial publication or partial manuscripts over her 42 years. And she also had good philosophy, right? The reason that she was popular was because she was writing from what's called the here and now philosophy of children's literature at the time. And here and now said that kind of morally lecturing children in their literature didn't do any good. There's this little bit in one of her biographies where they're talking about a radio conversation that was between three people. And the person named Scott says, "A publisher's hardest problem is to persuade adults that books which are simple enough for a small child are not too simple." Stanton says, "Possibly that's because adults forget that the everyday things they take for granted are brand new to these children. Things like the taste of a baked potato, the color of the sky, the sound and smell of sizzling bacon, the feel of rain." And Margaret Wise Brown comes in and says, "And tables and chairs, plates and telephones, animals they know. Children love to find the here and now world they know in the heightened experience of a story because, as you say, Miss Stanton, this is a wildly exciting new world for them." And that is what she brought to children's literature. That was her whole deal, right? And she was willing to talk about hard things. One of my favorite books by her is called The Dead Bird, and it literally is just the story of some children in the woods finding a deceased bird and burying it and marking its little grave. And people at the time thought this was like horrific. People still think this is still like we're pushing people's boundaries by writing a children's book about the cycle of life. And it's so what children are interested in. It's 100% what they want to think about. We have a possum grave in our yard that is like 2 years old. It's a painted rock, and they still leave flowers on it and talk about the time that they buried a possum. So happy birthday, Margaret Wise Brown.